Alright, let's sleep. Pull the blankets up to your chin. Fluff your pillow. Turn off your phone and let the darkness settle around you like a soft, warm cloak. Tonight, we're going to travel back in time to a world of cherry blossoms and samurai swords, of fierce battles and ancient traditions, of a woman who defied every expectation and became a legend in her own time. We're going to a land of mountains and islands, of emperors and shoguns, of a warrior woman whose name still echoes through the ages. Her name was Tomoe Gozen. But before we get to the battles and the bloodshed, the loyalty and the loss, we need to understand the world into which she was born, a world of the Genpei War, of the Taira and Minamoto clans, of a Japan that was tearing itself apart in a struggle for power. Part 1, The World of the Samurai. The year is approximately 1157. The place is Japan, a land of mountains and forests, of rice paddies and fishing villages, of a civilization that has been building its own unique culture for centuries. The emperor sits in Kyoto, the ancient capital, but his power is fading. The real power lies with the samurai, the warrior class, and the clans that command their loyalty. Japan is in turmoil. Two great clans, the Taira and the Minamoto, are locked in a struggle for control of the country. The Taira have the upper hand for now. Their leader, Taira no Kayamori, has risen to become the most powerful man in Japan. But the Minamoto are biding their time, waiting for their chance. In the midst of this turmoil, a girl is born. She is given the name Tomoe, a name that means friend or companion. She is the daughter of a warrior named Kanetomo, a man of some standing but not of the highest rank. She has an older brother, whose name has been lost to history. And she has a destiny that no one could have predicted. Tomoe grows up in a world of war. Her father teaches her the way of the samurai, how to ride a horse, how to wield a sword, how to shoot a bow from a galloping horse. She is strong, fast, and exceptionally skilled. The chronicles say that she was a woman of great beauty, with long black hair and a pale complexion, but also that she was a match for 1,000 warriors. She is trained in the arts of war and peace, of poetry and combat, of the rituals of the samurai. She learns to write, to recite poetry, and to appreciate the beauty of the world around her. But her true calling is the battlefield. Part 2, The Minamoto and the Taira. In 1180, the Minamoto clan rises in rebellion against the Taira. The leader of the Minamoto is Minamoto no Yoritomo, a man of immense ambition and cunning. He has gathered a large army, and he is determined to crush the Taira and establish his own shogunate. Tomoe is now a young woman, and she serves as a retainer to Minamoto no Yoshinaka, a cousin of Yoritomo. Yoshinaka is a brilliant commander, charismatic and brave. He is also ambitious, and he hopes to seize power for himself. Tomoe becomes one of Yoshinaka's most trusted retainers. She is not just a warrior, she is a leader. The chronicles describe her as a woman of valor, who performed such deeds that no one could believe she was a woman. She fights alongside the men, leading charges, cutting down enemies, and rallying the troops. Part 3, The Battle of Kurikara. In 1183, Yoshinaka leads his army against the Taira. The two forces meet at the Battle of Kurikara, in the mountains of central Japan. The Taira have a larger army, but Yoshinaka has a secret weapon. Tomoe is at the forefront of the battle. She is a master of the bow, and she fires arrow after arrow into the Taira ranks. She is also a master of the sword, cutting down any enemy who comes near her. The chronicles say that she rode into battle, cutting down enemies left and right, and that her bravery inspired the entire army. The battle is a decisive victory for the Minamoto. The Taira are routed, and they flee in disarray. Yoshinaka has won a great victory, and Tomoe has played a crucial role in it. Part 4, The Siege of Kyoto. After the victory at Kurikara, Yoshinaka marches on Kyoto, the imperial capital. He is determined to seize control of the government, to establish his own authority, and to challenge his cousin Yoritomo for supremacy. Tomoe is with him. She rides at his side, her sword in her hand, her banner flying in the wind. She is his most loyal retainer, his closest confidant, and perhaps his lover. The chronicles are ambiguous on this point, but it is clear that she is devoted to him. Yoshinaka captures Kyoto, and he forces the emperor to appoint him as the supreme commander of the imperial forces. But his triumph is short-lived. Yoritomo, jealous of Yoshinaka's success, sends his own army against him. Part 5, The Battle of Awazu. In 1184, the forces of Yoritomo confront Yoshinaka at the Battle of Awazu, in the region of Omi. The battle is a desperate struggle. Yoshinaka is outnumbered, and his army is exhausted. But he is determined to fight to the end. Tomoe is at his side. She fights with incredible bravery, cutting down enemy soldiers and inspiring her comrades. But the tide of the battle turns against them. Yoshinaka is surrounded, and his army is being destroyed. Yoshinaka orders Tomoe to flee. He tells her to go, to save herself, to live. He knows that he will not survive the battle, and he wants her to escape. But Tomoe refuses. She says, "I will not leave you. I will fight by your side, and I will die by your side." Yoshinaka is moved by her loyalty, but he is also determined. He reminds her that a woman's shame is to be taken alive, and he insists that she leave. She cannot be captured, she cannot be humiliated. Tomoe reluctantly agrees. She fights her way out of the encirclement, cutting down the enemies who try to stop her. She is the last survivor of Yoshinaka's force, and she rides away into the night. Part 6, The Death of Yoshinaka. Yoshinaka is killed in the battle. The chronicles say that he fought bravely, cutting down many enemies before he fell. His head is taken and displayed in Kyoto, a warning to all who would challenge the authority of Yoritomo. Tomoe survives. She is now alone, without her lord, without her purpose. She becomes a fugitive, hiding in the mountains, moving from place to place to avoid capture. She has lost everything, her lord, her comrades, her cause. But she also has her freedom. She is not captured, not humiliated, not executed. She lives on, a ghost of her former self. Part 7, The Legend. Tomoe disappears from the historical record after the Battle of Awazu. It is not known what happened to her. Some say she became a nun, spending the rest of her life in prayer and meditation. Others say she married another samurai, living quietly in obscurity. Others say she died in battle, fighting against a group of outlaws. The chronicles are silent. But the legend of Tomoe Gozen endures. She is remembered as one of the greatest warriors in Japanese history, a woman who defied the conventions of her age, who fought with unmatched skill, who was loyal to her lord, and who survived against all odds. Tomoe Gozen is a symbol of the strength and resilience of women. In a world that was dominated by men, she carved out a place for herself, not by denying her femininity, but by embracing her power. Part 8, The Lessons. What can we learn from the story of Tomoe Gozen? First, courage is universal. Tomoe Gozen was a woman in a world of men, but she was not afraid. She fought alongside the soldiers, she led charges, and she died with her lord. Courage is not a matter of gender, it is a matter of character. Second, loyalty is a virtue. Tomoe Gozen was loyal to her lord, even unto death. She refused to abandon him, even when she had the chance to escape. Loyalty is one of the most important values a person can hold. Third, the past is not a foreign country. Tomoe Gozen lived 800 years ago, in a world that was very different from our own. But her struggles and triumphs are still relevant today. She fought for her freedom, she challenged the status quo, and she refused to be silenced. Fourth, strength is not just physical. Tomoe Gozen was a skilled warrior, but her strength was not just in her sword. It was in her spirit, her determination, her refusal to give up. Physical strength is important, but it is nothing without the will to use it. And finally, even the greatest warriors can be defeated. Tomoe Gozen was one of the greatest warriors in Japanese history, but she was not invincible. She lost her lord, her comrades, and her purpose. She survived, but she was broken. The greatest warriors are not those who never lose, they are those who keep fighting, even after they have lost. Part 9, The Dream. Now, as you drift off to sleep, think about Tomoe Gozen. Imagine her as a young girl, learning to ride and fight. Imagine her as a warrior, riding into battle, her sword raised high. Imagine her at the Battle of Kurikara, leading the charge. Imagine her at the Battle of Awazu, fighting to the death. Imagine her refusal to leave her lord. Imagine her escape, her flight, her survival. Imagine her as a nun, a wife, or a fugitive. Imagine her spirit, her courage, her strength. Tomoe Gozen is gone, but she is not forgotten. She lives on in the stories we tell, in the history we study, in the culture we celebrate. She is a reminder that even the most unlikely people can change the world, that a woman from a distant land can challenge the mightiest empires and win. Part 10, The Final Reflection. So tonight, as you lie in your warm bed, in your safe home, surrounded by the people you love, think about Tomoe Gozen. Think about her courage, her loyalty, her strength. Think about her refusal to be silenced, her determination to live life on her own terms. And let her story inspire you to be brave, to be bold, and to never give up. Tomoe Gozen lived in a world of cherry blossoms and samurai swords, of fierce battles and ancient traditions. She faced challenges that we can barely imagine. But she refused to be defeated. She fought, she led, she survived. And her story, like the woman herself, will never be forgotten. Sleep well. Sleep deeply. And may your dreams be filled with the sound of hoofbeats, the sight of banners, and the spirit of a warrior woman who rode at dawn. Good night.